this is going to be interesting. This is where we're going to see her reactions to hearing a real expert speak, or at least someone who has some credentials.
It was an incredible
All right, so she's nodding. She's listening.
Who said this drug driving crisis that's leading so many of our loved ones to lose their lives.
I appreciate that he brings that up because that's like a real issue. People get so concerned about all these other issues that are like divisive, meaning us versus them, whereas the most important thing is driving safety overall in terms of actually saving lives.
To call for
the majority of
Okay, we have another guy.
parents that are really frustrated when Todd maybe it's past the future to companies.
Oh, Harry. Let's look at him looking down, looking out of it. Is like Meghan drugging him or something? Let's see his talking.
I think people are scared and feel helpless. And I think we understand that.
What a jerk.
But
What a jerk to make it about him. It's like people are scared and feel helpless. We understand that. Like right away just making it about them. It's like, it's so hard for us. We felt so helpless. Like, when I was born into being a prince and then when I got $100 million contract by complaining about my family and airing out all their dirt, I was such a victim. We know what it's all about. We know just what it's like to be like a child in a difficult home, it's like, or to be anyone in difficulty. Like, what a jerk. Like, don't think about yourself for a second. Man.
there's nothing wrong with these kids. Any one of us in this room to grow up with social media would probably definitely react the same way. And I think we need to get out of this idea that the young kids, there's something wrong with them. It's the world that we're allowing to be created around them.
You know what? I call it like I see it. I totally agree with him on that. Like the way social media is working, how it's addictive. That part I totally agree with. I think that was a good point.
Matthew and his team have 2,200 families looking for accountability. And that is approximately 10% of what we believe exists out there. So as the doctor says, like we're already way behind actually solving the problem. But
you know what? Again, not bad. We see glimpses of Harry that are better. I think he went downhill being with Meghan. He competed with his brother or whatever. Maybe jealous, maybe not the smartest. But these are decent points.
The one thing that always stands out for me is, yes, these platforms are addictive. I think we all accept that and agree. But as someone who works within those companies, as someone who designs them especially, because obviously they're not going away, new ones are going to be created, then do not send, or stop, please stop sending children content that you wouldn't want your own children to see. And I think that's a very simple request.
I don't know. I think that's, a little simplistic, I would say. I mean, not to go onto social media. I think the addictive nature of it themselves, aside from just what the content's on there, there's all the science to it, how it affects the brain and whatnot, but whatever.
And it's an easy fix. But again, as the dads up here said, well, it's all about the bottom line.
Live here. You need passwords. I have 4 kids, 3, 9, 11, and 14.
But like she's dressed like she's going to the freaking ball. Let's see.
Again, the burden can't solely be on the parents, and for these parents who have experienced this extreme grief, to not feel burdened, to experience extreme guilt. It's not their fault. And many of the platforms that we've had conversations quietly behind the scenes.
Again, I'm no freaking expert on raising kids, so it's annoying people say stuff like this, but I think maybe that's a bit of a problem with the culture, is this idea like, like everything should be free, you shouldn't have any say in what your kids do. Like, I don't know, in the past it'd be normal, like you can't watch this, you can't do that, which is good for kids, I think, right? Like this stuff, like it might be good if parents did have some control over what's going on in their kids' phones, just culturally.
With these tech executives, and they do feel that they have created, and they have, many of them created, parental controls and certain guardrails, much of which many parents, if you aren't tech savvy, you can't navigate that comfortably. It feels pretty
What? That's a pretty low bar, Oh, man.
overwhelming. So there has to be a better solution than that, of course. And I think equally,
What is
every
she
country has
saying?
different guardrails on things like this. We've had insight sessions. We were just in Germany. We had one with parents there. My husband's done them in the UK. And
You know,
obviously
you see how that happens over and over? Like, I felt like she was saying something that was about to make sense, but then it just goes in circles and it never actually makes sense. And now she's just, again, giving us her resume. Like, we were in Germany and we did this and we did that. These are all these things I do. Like, it's weird. Like, it's like she has all these, like, maybe it's a sentence that makes sense, but it's chopped in half. She uses half of that and half of another sentence, and it's just in circles, and it doesn't make any sense.
collective of families across the states.
What?
But as we've also discussed with, the tech space and online
What?
harms. is
None of
one
this
more
makes
just
sense.
Prior to working specifically with families, and it's Tristan Harris, who's a friend of ours that we started working with a few years ago, founder of Center for Humane Technology, and
What is she talking about? Like, doesn't it literally makes no sense? Like, she's going in like 10 different directions, and it's like you keep thinking she's about to like make a point, and then there's never any point. By the way, this is what cults do. Some cults, it's a technique where it confuses the brain, it like stresses the brain, also makes people like more susceptible to things and to listen. I don't know if she does that on purpose, but it is a real thing. And now I think she's just, we know this guy, like name dropping.
Tristan had said, just like when something is invented, let's take the car, for example.
Okay.
When the car was first invented, there wasn't a seatbelt. You could smoke inside of your car. And what happened? People started to get hurt. People started to die. So you started to change the car. You would put in safeguards so that this new piece of something that is part of our evolution is adapting to keep people safe. Right now, even if you're veering off into the lane, maybe you're getting a little sleepy, you have to beep, 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 bring you right back.
I think it's not the worst analogy, maybe. But nice. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.